Okay, so let's talk about Spurs' transfer window. We'll start with you, Luke. How do you think your side fared this window?
I think um, I think we've made some progress, but it's very marginal. I think what we really needed this summer was a bit of pace, a winger, someone of Riyad Mahrez's ilk, and either that or a backup 10, because last year, between Christian Eriksen and Dele Alli, up to December, they had 2 goals between them. And really, like a team as thin as, when Tottenham have got a squad as thin as they have, we mentioned earlier about Man United having passengers. Spurs can't afford to have passengers, and I think we failed to address that. But the most important bit of business we've done, I think, was replacing Walker with Aurier and Fernando Llorente as well, because it seems like we've finally got an established understudy. Touch wood.
What do you think, lads? Do you think Spurs have had a good window, all in all?
Yeah, what formation do you think Spurs are going to play through most of the season, Luke?
I genuinely am not sure. I think with Davinson Sanchez come in, I think that would maybe indicate that Eric Dyer would move further forward into midfield, and so I would presume 3 at the back, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, because I was just looking. I kind of agree with you with the Sanchez thing and not really having many out and out wingers either. I think that's probably where you're going down. But yeah, like I say, overall, I think very good business again from Tottenham. I agree about the 2 lads, Ori and Llorente. Llorente is a fantastic option off the bench. I think they've been crying out for support for Harry Kane for a while. So, and I think Aurea is a perfectly good substitute for Walker. I think very similar type of player, certainly, with that athleticism going forward and back. I'm not sure he's maybe not as good going forward as Walker, maybe, but probably.
I'll disagree. I think he's better. He's got more assists, easily more assists.
Difficult to tell, though, isn't it?
I read the other day that Aurier's got the most assists for a defender since 2014-15 season. I think he's got 19.
Yeah, but he's coming into a lot. Obviously, he's been playing the French league with PSG, which, let's not bear in mind, is not exactly the most difficult task. He's coming into a league which is a lot more physical now. And I think, as getting back to Andy's point about the formation Tottenham will play, I've got to agree with Luke. I think the 3 at the back will fit Tottenham perfectly. Array's got a lot of pace, and Danny Rose has as well. So the wing backs bombing up and down, that's a threat to any team.
I think Danny would agree with me as well. But just by watching the Burnley game, you could see that without Tottenham's wing backs, we're static, because Kieran Trippier, as good as his crossing is, he won't take anyone on. And I think against Chelsea and against Burnley, where they compact the midfield and stop Dele Alli and Christian Eriksen playing out wide, I think the sign of Serge Aurier is, if we get the Serge Aurier on the pitch that's been bigged up by the media, I think will be very good. But there is a history, I think Andy would agree with me as well, of when Mauricio Pochettino has a bad boy, it doesn't always fall into favour with him. We've seen the likes of Danny Osvaldo at Southampton.
Yeah, definitely.
That totally went horrifically wrong. So I think it can go one of 2 ways, but is it when Serge Aurier signed, it was a very silver-tongued statement, and he'd obviously addressed the mistakes he'd made in the past, and it seemed like a very professional and mature statement, and that he had a good attitude, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one.
Is there anyone you would have liked to see come in? Was it a winger you think that they might have gone for specifically?
I think the perfect player for Tottenham would have been Mo Salah, personally. But I can't really see Tottenham spending that much money on Salah. So I think on a more realistic level, Keita Balde went to Monaco for just under 30 million euros. It's an absolute steal, in my opinion. He can play up front and on the wing. I think our squad it's definitely got we've got some holes in our squad, and I think last year we didn't really address them, and I think there's definitely progress to be made, but I think it's a small step forward from the club. I don't think we've particularly gone backwards or sideways.
Yeah, I think you've tiptoed your way through the transfer window, definitely. Like you said, could have done with another winger. I think the likes of Julian Draxler there, who PSG have made clear they want rid of him. If Tottenham would make a statement, I think they should have went for someone of that calibre for definite.
Exactly.
Or even Mahrez. Mahrez available as well. You've got to bear in mind that one.
I think with Draxler as well, he can play as a 10. And during pre-season, Mauricio Pochettino, he said that the most important thing about his squad is having healthy competition. We've seen when Harry Kane had his breakthrough season, he had to rise through the ranks past Emmanuel Adebayor and past Roberto Soldado, and he knew that if he didn't play well, there's pressure for him. And last season, really, he knew that even though he didn't really drop any 6 out of 10 performances that much throughout the season, I think some players in that squad knew that due to a lack of squad depth, they could afford a bad game or two and still have a comfortable place in the squad. So I think there's still work to be done, but I think I sit on the more glass half full side of Spurs fans. Some are pretty pessimistic, but I'd say we've had a good window.
What do you think, Dan? How do you think Spurs did?
I think Sergio is a very good right back they've picked up, and I think they sold Kyle Walker for a lot of money, and so they signed a good replacement for a lot less with, I'd say, in my opinion, a better player as well, attacking, maybe not so as athletic as Kyle Walker. I think Llorente is a perfect understudy that, as Luke said, that Tottenham have tried for years, and I think he will be an impact player when he comes off the bench, and they will allow also Harry Kane to have a break, because it's a long season, let's not forget. And I think both the centre-backs they've signed are both young, promising centre-backs, and sort of the centre-backs that you want Tottenham to be signing, players with margin to improve and to be worth more in the future. And also, it does mean if these players start performing, then Tottenham can go and cash in on one of the centre-backs like Toby, for example.
I think Dan mentioned it there. We said that we strengthened our backline. I think Daniel Levy does get a lot of stick for how tight-fisted he is in the market, but I think Davinson Sanchez, from what I've heard, he's got a very, very high ceiling. I'm not going to lie and say that I've seen a lot of him, but if him and Serge Aurier are the players that the media report they are, I think we've done some very good business to get them for 55 million and sell Kevin Wimmer and Kyle Walker for around 70. About 65 million, sorry.
I think Luke made a great point about when Trippier and Davis were on the wings, for example, and that lack of penetration perhaps from them. I'd have liked to see Spurs mix it up with a different type of player. Personally, I don't know what you think about this, but Luke, but a Wilfried Zaha type player that can really push the defence back and really, particularly that Wembley pitch as well. Obviously, Wilfried Zaha's caused Watford all kinds of problems on that pitch before, and his pace and trickery would cause nightmares, I think. And even though he might be too expensive, that type of player I would like to see Spurs attract. I think they could be a bit predictable otherwise.
I think you've hit the nail on the head, really. We're interested in Zaha at the start of last season, and there's bids of up to 20 million that had been rejected. And really, I think by that time we'd sold Nasser Chadli. There's still no wingers really in the squad. We had Nkudu, but he hasn't really played, and whenever he hasn't really impressed. And we've got the likes of Musa Sissoko. Like, really, what more do I have to say on the wings? There's definitely room for improvement.
What about Eric Lamela?
Well, Eric Lamella's a curious case because he had a hip injury in October, and when he first had it, he was rumoured to be out for 2 to 3 months, and the latest reports that have been filtering out from the club really is that maybe Eric Lamela won't be back to actually playing for Tottenham till maybe December or January.
I've seen you've not named them in your Champions League squad.
Yeah, I think that a lot of that's down to injury, really.
Yeah.
So how would we assess Spurs altogether?
I would give them I think a 7. I think they made a lot of money from the transfers, as Luke pointed out. They signed Sergio Aurier and Davinson Sanchez, and they've made money considering they sold Kyle Walker and Kevin Wim in that position. And I think Llorente was the striker they've been crying for.
Yeah, for me, I'd give them an 8 personally. I think they've been screaming out for some support with Harry Kane for so long now. And I think they've done that with Llorente. He's got a bags of experience. I think he's 32 now. So he's good cover for Kane. They've got Sanchez as well from Ajax, who looks strong at the back. Aurier is an adamant replacement for Walker. Yeah, I think they've had a good window. Could have been better, but it's been decent for them. Yeah.
Personally, I'd give us an 8, but it's a very generous 8 because I think there's definitely still holes in the squad, and there's certain positions that are very thin. You look at centre mids, really, about 3 or 4, and we've let the likes of Josh Onoma go alone. Really.
What about you, Andy? How do you think Spurs did?
I think it's tough call. I think they have plugged some pretty good gaps. Another striker. They've replaced Walker well. I'm with Luke. I've heard good things about Sanchez, but I haven't seen a lot of him. And 42 million for someone from the Dutch league, it's quite audacious. So I'd give them a 7. Not really because they've done much wrong, but maybe because there isn't really anything just pushing it over that next level.
Andy, what are your thoughts on Gazzaniga coming to Tottenham? It's a bit of a odd signing, really. Or do you not think so?
Yeah, because the idea of a third choice goalkeeper is kind of weird to me in any sense, given how little a second choice keeper normally plays. So it's a very strange one to me. I mean, he's competent, but he'll never play. So
I think it's because he's I don't know if he worked with Poch at Southampton.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
Argentinian as well. So that could be an interesting one. But it seems a bit of a strange one, initially. But
I think I was quite baffled because I think Luke McGee. If we were after a third keeper, I didn't see why someone like Luke McGee couldn't fill that void. I mean, he went on loan to Peterborough last year and got the Player of the Year. So it's like a third choice keeper. He's not going to play that much. I trust him, but I don't.
Well, yeah,
I
especially given
don't have any hate towards him.
Yeah, especially given the noise that Spurs are making about academy players at the moment. I kind of agree that it would seem strange they wouldn't just promote him when needed. So who knows? We'll see.